F sharp jazz melodic minor scale. Okay, before I play this up higher, I just want to emphasize something about playing in that extreme register, how the pitches get really close together. I'm going to play it wrong on purpose, then I'll play it the right way, but the thing to take away is that I'm using the exact same fingering. So your embouchure needs to be set just right to make sure that you can dial the pitch in. And I understand that a lot of you may not have a high F sharp key on your saxophone, and that's going to require really dialing in some more attention to the embouchure in order to make sure that the pitch comes in where it's supposed to. All right, let's do it. This scale can be a little bit tricky around the break area. That's around the Altissimo G area. Now, obviously we're not playing an Altissimo G natural with this scale, but let me show you what I'm doing. In order to play E flat, I just use the palm E flat. Again, like I said before, you can leave the D key off. You have more intonation and flexibility with tenor than you do with alto, but even still, you want to be careful if you're just using the E flat key by itself, not to let that note pitch too low. Okay, now if you have a high F sharp key on your horn, you can play the front F to the high F sharp. I should say the front E sharp to the high F sharp key by adding your high F sharp key. If you do not, once I get to the E flat, I'm going to switch and show you this different fingering for high F. This is a substitute fingering for the palm F, which is 1-2 in the left hand and 1-2 in the right hand. I've shown you this fingering before in a different video, but you can use that as a substitute for palm F. And by the way, I almost never use the palm F fingering when I'm playing saxophone. I always use one of these other fingerings just because it's just more convenient. Okay, and then from there, which is technically in E sharp, all I'm gonna do from this 1, 2, and 4, 5 is just lift the 2 finger. I'm gonna keep 4 and 5 engaged, so that way in order to play high F sharp, I just have 1, 4, 5. So let me play back and forth between E sharp and F sharp. Okay, now in order to play G sharp, I would normally do the 1, 2, 3 with the side C, but in this case, since you're coming from the 1, 4, and the 5, you can play G sharp with just 1 and the side C key. It's a little unstable, so be careful. All right, for Altissimo A, I use my vented G sharp, just like G sharp with the first finger up. Altissimo B, I'll add what I like to call -1. That's the E flat key. Since this is 1 to play B natural, the inside, I call that -1 to play the E flat key. So you don't need to have 2, 3 and the G sharp key engaged in order to hit that B natural, but I do that because it keeps that B natural from riding up too sharp. The actual fingering, you can just use the E flat key by itself to play B natural, depending on how it suits your intonation needs. Okay, and then for C sharp, just 1, D sharp, all open. For Altissimo E sharp or Altissimo F, in this case, I haven't really shown you guys this before, I'll play that fingering like a split G. So it's just like G, but with the middle finger up. Normally, when I teach people this, I teach them to split F, which is just like F with the 2 finger up. But in this case, I use this fingering. This is all you really need, but it's a lot easier to get people to understand that Altissimo F by teaching from a split F perspective. But in this case, split G, just 1 and 3 to play Altissimo F. And then above that, guess what? Boom. I just add the -1. I add the E flat key to that in order to play Altissimo F sharp. All right, so that's the scale up to the top there. Also, I like to use palm D, which I call 0, the 3 key, which is the G key, and the shadow key, which is the side E key, in order to play F sharp. I have like 4 or 5 fingerings for that Altissimo F sharp. But in this case, I would use the split G and then add the E flat key to that fingering. Got to be careful because sometimes it wants to pitch a little bit on the low side. Okay, so if you go up from there, double Altissimo G sharp, just the 3 key, double Altissimo A, just the 1 key, double Altissimo B, back to our E flat key again. I like to add the C key to keep the pitch in tune, but you don't really need it. And then for double Altissimo C sharp, the front key with the high F sharp key. If you don't have a high F sharp key on your saxophone to play that note, you can play the front key with the side E with the shadow key, but you're gonna have to engage a lot more embouchure for that. I personally just prefer saxophones with a high F sharp key. Almost finished with all of these jazz melodic minor scales, and I am still working on a video that actually shows you how to apply it harmonically, so all this stuff will make sense, and hopefully you guys will watch more of these videos. All right. Oh, by the way, I'm going to do a plug for one of the videos that I have coming up. I just bought one of these Giardinelli saxophone mouthpieces. You guys have been asking me about doing more of the low-cost stuff and reviewing it to see if it's worth it. So I got one coming. Also bought a box of reeds, Giardinelli reeds number 3 with that. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got. See ya. Oh, by the way, I'm just using my regular Supertone Master Auto Link with Van Doren Red Box number 3 reed. So it's not some exotic thing that you need in order to be able to have the confidence to play 4 octave range. All right, that's all I got for you. See ya.